Dawn Twilight. 1. It was time for Xinxiu's lesson again. However, Nieli, Duze and Lu Piao felt that her lessons were simply pointless and boring. All she did was gabble away at the stage daily. Of course, during Xinxiu's lesson, Nieli, Duze, and Lu Piao would be standing at the back of the class. The lesson will be starting soon. And students were gathering in small groups, chit-chatting. Despite Yi Ziyun's status, she didn't have much of a barrier with the other students. She, quickly, became friendly with many female students in the class. Naturally, Xinyu would pridefully sit at a corner. With his status, he couldn't be bothered to interact with the other students in the class. If it wasn't for Yi Ziyun being in this class, he wouldn't be coming in the first place. At the coming test in 2 months' time, no matter if it's him or Yi Ziyun, both of them would definitely enter into the junior demon spiritist class. Shan Yu looked at Nieli standing at the back of the class. His face stretched into a sarcastic smile. Reaching 1-star bronze rank in 2 months, if trash like you can accomplish that, then the sun would be rising from the west, he muttered sarcastically. Nieli, Duze and Lu Piao were at the back, chatting among themselves. In addition, there were a few commoner students that built good relationships with Nieli's group. Since Nieli had a lot of ideas, he would coach them in their training from time to time. With how much he helped them, he naturally became the leader of this small group. Even Duze, who had more prestige within the commoner student body, was willing to listen to what Nieli said. In just a few days, Nieli led the two of them and earned roughly around 16,000 demon spirit coins. Duze never imagined he would earn such a large amount of money. He fully trusted and admired Nieli, feeling that Nieli was very capable. Nieli, what's our next step? Duze asked. After all, Nieli previously said that they were not going to continue hunting horned sheep. What are they going to do now? You'll know after school, Nieli said, smiling mysteriously. He already had everything planned out. The first step is to buy some soul crystals to test their talent property and immediately begin their training. Nieli still has his bet with Xinxiu. He must become a 1-star bronze rank demon spiritist in 2 months. Leaving his training aside, Nieli looked towards Yi Ziyun, who was sitting with a group of girls chit-chatting. How can he get close to Yi Ziyun? How could she get Yi Ziyun to fall for him? Xiao Ning was the only girl in the class who is beautiful, outstanding, and comparable to Yi Ziyun. The two girls' every move and action would attract the direction of everyone in the class. Yi Ziyun's character was gentle. She never looked down on others, nor was she arrogant. Therefore, many commoner girls are willing to be friends with her. As for Xiao Ning, her character came off as cold and aloof, making her an ice beauty. Even a girl couldn't get close to her, let alone a boy. Could it be that Nieli provoked Xiao Ning? Nieli's dead. Seeing Xiao Ning back in their view, a few of the noble kids started to discuss while they laughed. For Xiao Ning to take the initiative to go to Nieli, it would certainly not be a good thing. Otherwise, how could an ice beauty like Xiao Ning have any relationship with Nieli? If such a thing happened, the sun would really rise from the west. Xiao Ning's cultivation will soon reach 1-star bronze rank's realm. If there was any conflict between them, Nieli would certainly be the one getting trashed. These noble kids were prepared to watch a good show. Among them there were a lot of boys that liked Xiao Ning. After all, Xiao Ning is a super beauty. That is not a bit inferior to Yi Ziyun. Today, Xiao Ning deliberately wore a checker-laced dress. Her ink-black hair scattered around on her back. She wore a bracelet on her jade-white wrist, becoming extraordinarily beautiful and charming. Usually, Xiao Ning would wear a tight-fitting jacket as it was convenient to train with her beauty. The tight-fitting jacket gained a unique flavor when she wore it. However, she seemed to have meticulously dressed herself up today. She was even more beautiful compared to how she usually dressed. This made it harder for the others to look away after taking a glance at her. Being meticulously dressed up was a first for Xiao Ning. Nieli, Du Zhe, and Lu Piao were talking among themselves when Xiao Ning reached Nieli's table. Xiao Ning seemed to have some sort of unique aura around her. As she walked her way here, Du Zhe and Lu Piao nervously stood up from their seat. Xiao Ning usually icy, indifferent attitude towards others would cause other people to back away from her. The both of them are worried for Nieli. Xiao Ning looked at Nieli as he casually sat on the chair. His gaze would occasionally look towards Yi Ziyun, causing Xiao Ning to be discouraged. Yeah. Li only had Yi Ziyun in his eyes. He doesn't seem to even notice her existence. Library early in the morning. She was trying to find the origin of the Douyin technique. However, to her surprise, the Douyin technique was only briefly recorded in the library. It was known as a cheat technique that was handed down from the Snow-Wind Empire age. In addition, the cultivation technique that was modified by Nieli became more advanced. Her soul force grew by 2 with only half an hour of training in the morning. The effect of that half an hour of training was even better than training for an entire day. In the heart of Xiao Ning, Nieli is a mysterious and powerful being. What made Xiao Ning proud was that in this class, she was the only one that knew of Nieli's talent. For those in the class that laughed at Nieli were simply ignorant. She stood by the side of Nieli's table and quietly looked at Nieli as he continued to talk and laugh as though nothing had happened. Several noble kids continued to discuss quietly. How do you think Xiao Ning will teach Nieli a lesson? Nieli's soul force is only 5, he will probably be thrown out of the class. This Nieli doesn't know his place. After he offended teacher Shinxiu, he actually went and provoked Xiao Ning as well. His life will be very miserable. Even Du Zhe and Lu Piao were nervously looking at Xiao Ning. They didn't understand why a prideful girl like Xiao Ning would suddenly walk towards them. The both of them began cursing Nieli to death in their hearts. Nieli actually went around looking for trouble again. If Xiao Ning wants to beat Nieli up, they will naturally lend a hand. But even if the 3 of them worked together, they couldn't fight against the 78 soul force of Xiao Ning. Xiao Ning will soon reach 1-star bronze rank, becoming an actual demon spiritist. 1. At this moment, even Yi Ziyun and Xinyu look towards Nieli's direction. Yi Ziyun has some doubts. She doesn't know how Nieli provoked Xiao Ning. Could Nieli have done something to Xiao Ning? A lecher like Nieli should really be taught a lesson. Everyone had doubts in their eyes. They watched as Xiao Ning stood in front of his table. Nieli couldn't help feeling a little surprised. He raised his head and asked, "Is there something wrong?" Currently, Nieli didn't know how to address Xiao Ning. He began to think of the things that happened yesterday. He still felt a little awkward inside of himself. After interacting with Xiao Ning, Nieli realized she wasn't that cold and aloof girl that everyone imagined. In her heart, Xiao Ning was actually a gentle and cute girl. She took out a paper bag from her interspatial ring and gently said, "This is the breakfast that I've made. I didn't know what you like to eat, so I made a few sets." Xiao Ning gently placed the paper bag on the table. 3. What? What's happening? The whole classroom went silent. If a needle were to be dropped onto the floor, it would be clearly heard. Everyone thought that they misheard what Xiao Ning just said. Du Zhe and Lu Piao dropped their jaws and dumbly stared at the scene. With how open their mouths were, one can simply fit an egg into them. They were unable to believe the scene before their eyes. Xiao Ning is one of the two goddesses in their class. Even if they were compared to all the beauties in the school, they would definitely get the top few positions as the school's top beauties. Her beauty and her usual icy cold attitude made her seem unapproachable. However, today, what do they see? Xiao Ning actually made breakfast for Nia Li, and even a few sets of it. Was the sun rising from the west? Is this real? Everyone thought they were struck by lightning. They were standing there, dumbfounded. 2. "I must be dreaming, I need to wake up," one student murmured. HSSS. A few students thought that they're also dreaming, therefore, they pinched themselves. However, the pain they felt clearly told them that this was not a dream. This doesn't make sense. A few noble kids wailed in their heart. They still don't know what happened. They couldn't believe the clothes and the gentleness that Xiao Ning revealed. They originally thought that their Ning goddess was going to find trouble with Nieli. They never thought, in their wildest imaginations, that she was actually giving Nieli breakfast. If Xiao Ning were to give them breakfast, even if it's swine food, they would still find it sweet. Xiao Ning usually doesn't have many female friends. She ignored the boys that approached her, except for that trash Nieli. She would actually put down her status to serve breakfast to Nieli. This simply doesn't make any sense. Is it because Nieli contradicted teacher Shinxiu and was punished by standing? If so, even if they were punished to stand for several years, they, too, would contradict teacher Shinxiu. Thought about her. After all, she has always been a lone wolf. Xiao Ning doesn't care for other people's thoughts. Those who ridiculed and showed Nia Li contempt were simply ignorant. There will be a day when they realize that their view was wrong. In this world, only she knows of Nia Li's talent. At this moment, even Yi Ziyun and Xingyu were stunned in their seats. They were unable to believe what they just saw. What happened was simply unbelievable. How is this happening? Xinyu's face became sullen. How could a prideful girl like Xiao Ning fancy trash like Nieli, and even took the initiative to approach him? At this moment, Yi Ziyun felt deeply curious about Nieli. Yi Ziyun and Xiao Ning had been close friends when they were young. However, due to the decline of Xiao Ning's family, the two families no longer interacted. Since then, Yi Ziyun has never made a true friend. She would, sometime, reminisce about the playful times she had with Xiao Ning. When she found out that Xiao Ning entered the Holy Orchid Institute, Yi Ziyun got her father to arrange for her to enter as well. Because of Xiao Ning, Yi Ziyun began to take notice of Nieli. What's the reason that caused Xiao Ning to take the initiative to chase after someone like Nieli with no contributions at all? She couldn't understand the meaning behind Xiao Ning's action. Can I sit down and eat with you? Xiao Ning looked at Nieli and then towards Du Zhe and Lu Piao while she asked. Du Zhe and Lu Piao's gaze fell onto Nieli. Although the both of them wouldn't dare to have any thoughts about Xiao Ning. Having a beauty like Xiao Ning to sit beside them was still good to the eyes. Nieli was silent for a moment. He nodded his head and said, okay. Without knowing why, after seeing Xiao Ning, Nieli couldn't help to think of last night's scene. Xiao Ning's soft, boneless figure, with her creamy jade white skin still made him feel a bit awkward in his heart. Xiao Ning took breakfast out. There were all types of pastries inside. Seeing those pastries caused others to suddenly have the appetite to eat. The fragrance wafted into every corner of the classroom. Du Zhe, Lu Piao, you guys dig in, too. Xiao Ning said, looking towards Du Zhe and Lu Piao. They couldn't help